Here we go. All right. And we are live with another Cafe Crash. I'm your host, Daniel Crosier, and I'm here with the fantastic Aaron Fairooz. How are you, Aaron?
I'm good, Daniel. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on to the show. Aaron, you have a lot of, different skill sets and talents. You're a photographer, director, videographer, production designer. I mean, you run the whole gamut. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came into this?
I guess I have to go back all the way to when I was a kid. My dad was really into video cameras, and we had a lot of home videos. And
Oh, cool.
long story short, I saw the movie The Matrix, when I was 15, and it's
Nice.
changed my view on possibilities of filmmaking. I remember walking out of the theater and being like, I want to do that, whatever that is. And
Hmm.
went to college and graduated and had to get a real job. And so I ended up buying a cheap little camera off of Craigslist. It was like a Canon Rebel. It was like $200,
Hmm.
and just try to get my foot in the door. So I started taking photos, and setting up shoots on Model Mayhem. And a lot of
Okay.
people out there who's getting their, you might be familiar with Model Mayhem, but
Yeah.
usually people get their start on there. And that's kind of what I did. And I just started checking Craigslist every day for nighttime gigs for like events or
Oh,
bars
cool.
or clubs. And that's just event photography, but it's a great
Right.
way to network and meet people.
Right.
And that's what I ended up doing. You ever see the movie Yes Man
Yep.
with Jim
Yes.
Carrey? Yeah. It's kind of like that, when you're starting out, you just want to network and say yes to just about everything, while also, of course, being safe and not going to anything, sketchy. But you just
Right.
want to say yes to a lot of things, because you never know who you're going to meet. And I can't tell you how many times that happened in my early career. Is just
Mhm.
I ended up meeting someone who I didn't know how pivotal of a role they would play in my career development.
Right. Right. That sounds great. It sounds like it opened up a lot of doors.
Yeah, definitely just hustling, and just having a positive attitude about everything that you're trying to engage with, and just trying to get the most out of it, and honestly just do your best. And in Dallas, I can we speak for Dallas, because I've lived here for about 8 years, but it's a
Hmm.
small, big city, so word can get around. And also, there's enough economy here and enough people to where you can make a lot of money if you just
Good.
do good work and you respect people.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds wonderful. Yeah. Where originally are you from? If I thought you were in Texas for most of your life, but that's not the case.
No, I grew up in Arlington, Texas, and
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, I went to college in Arkansas, and then played football in Canada for a little bit, and then I moved back to Dallas
Ooh.
about 9 years ago.
Wow. Football in Canada. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Was that like during high school or college?
that was after college, so in their CFL.
Oh, no kidding. Oh my gosh. So you're a pro football player.
I used to be. I
Yeah.
used to. Now I'm just somebody with a lot of tendonitis.
Oh no. Yeah, when you were off camera, you were talking about how you're having to have acupuncture and some treatments of that.
Yeah, just old injuries creeping back up as you get older. So it's not a
Yeah.
big deal. You can take care of it. You just got to stay on top of it. So.
Right, right. How did you transition from event photography into doing directing and videography work?
Well, so I always wanted to do videography, and that's such an expensive genre to get into,
Yeah.
such an expensive career. So I bought the cheap photo camera, just so I could start doing something.
Hmm.
So I guess I use photography as a way to get back into video. And the way I did that was just, I'm still doing that. I'm still more 75% photography and 25% video, just because people when they're selling products, they need photos. They don't exactly need a video. A video is like a luxury item. So they're willing to spend the money on the photo, but not always the video for
Yeah.
many reasons. But film wise, I've always wanted to get into film. That's where my passion originated, and I'm still getting into it. You know, we're shooting a teaser for a film next week, and I'll be honest, it's like one of my, I can count on one hand how many films that I've done or been a part of, because the commercial world and commercial photography is just so much more lucrative, and
Mhm.
it just, those doors opened up for me faster than the film industry did. But I'm still open for the film industry, and I'm still trying to get into that a little bit more.
Cool. And yeah, along with that, you've been directing music videos. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I've been doing music videos for a while now, probably since I started, and those are a few and far between as far as like
Mhm.
artists trying to do music videos. Because I mean, let's face it, artists aren't the most uh, well-paid people in the world right now, so it's tough to get a solid music video budget, at least for me. But
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe some people are different.
Yeah. The with with the photography and stuff, yeah, since it's more the bread and butter and everything, do you find that you have a lot more creative, freedom or a lot more influence on what goes in front of the lens, or is can you say the same about music videos?
So I'll say this: it's interesting the way my career has evolved. It's like at the beginning, I get to be really creative because I have no clients, and
Right.
I'm just trying to express myself. And the more fun you have, the better your work's gonna be, you know. And the more successful I got and the more clients I had, the less creative I was able to be. So there's like a fine line, um, of applying what you want to do versus what the client needs.
Right.
And it's almost like a language. And I tell people I speak fluent in client, because a client will come to you and they don't know the terminology, and they don't know the right way to say things, and you have to translate that not
Mhm.
only in verbiage, but you have to translate it into imagery and what they actually mean. You know, I had a client say the other day, it's like, hey, can you make the water brighter?
Mm.
And I went back to the image. I was like, do you mean more transparent? And she was like, yes. I was like, okay, brighter is not more transparent, not at
Right.
all.
Right.
They almost
Right.
the opposite. But I knew what she meant, though. I was like, there's no way she wants this water brighter. So,
Mhm.
anyways, to answer your question in short, like music videos are a lot more creative.
Mm.
Um, it's just a more creative process, you know, songwriting and beat making. It's a more flowy process versus the photography world and commercial product world. It's just more informative and it's more literal, to where like, hey, we're trying to sell this product, we need to be informative, straightforward, because people need to know what it looks like, versus a music video, which is like, man, you could do whatever you want, you know.
Right. Right. So it sounds like, with your clients, you're able to essentially be a guide, and
Right.
kind of gearing them towards, what they want, what their needs are. Um, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I've seen, in the commercial world far too often where people, come in, they have no idea what they want. They just know that they want something. And it's like, hey, yeah, we want to make water wetter. It's like, okay, how do you do that?
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
they
that
know what they don't want, but
right,
they don't know what they want, you know.
right, right. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Um, and then you mentioned off camera that next week you're going to be on a film set all week, working on this teaser treatment. Are you able to talk to us a little bit about that, or is it very hush hush?
No, no, it's not hush hush. So a good friend of mine, Matthew JC, he's a director, great producer, really well connected in Dallas. And so he's really the one who's just, you know, leading this whole thing, and I'm DPing along with Ian Shar, and
Nice.
we just all came together like, hey, this is the goal, and we just want to get a film on Netflix. We're gonna budget it ourselves. You know, I think we have one one executive producer who threw in, 95% of the money, and then the
Cool.
rest is just kind of like, hey, what can we all bring together to the table? So I'm bringing camera gear, lighting, and stuff like that. And so our whole goal is we're just all coming together and trying to sell a series to Netflix.
Oh, cool, man. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Amazing amount of hard work.
Right.
Yeah,
and you know what? We love what we do, so you don't have to ask us to do it. And it's still hard work, but we're just having a good time at the same time. So it's like, you do what you love and you never work a day in your life, kind of a thing, which isn't exactly true because it's still work. Do something 8 to 10 hours a day, you're gonna get tired of it. But
oh yeah, most definitely. But there's also something so rewarding too to work with collaborators and friends on a creative project that is of your own group creation, not just a client's vision or pitch, I suppose. I don't know if not always does a client have a vision.
Right. But no, it does feel good just to do exactly what you want. You don't have to check with the client. You can just have full creative freedom.
Yeah, most definitely. The and you also work a bit in the production design area. Do you find yourself having to wear all those hats pretty much all at once? The director, the the lens, the lighting, and then either dictate or build the sets and costuming that you need to see, or is it usually more collaborative on the bigger on your projects?
So on the bigger projects, there's usually somebody to wear one hat, make artist, set builder, and art director. But growing up, so to speak, in my career, you're forced to do multiple things because it's usually just you and the client, and it's a really small shoot, and you're kind of forced to learn all those things as you go. And that's one thing that I'm so grateful for is like, I was able to spend 5 to 6 years assisting while also shooting. And I was able to learn a lot of the tricks of the trade, lighting wise, set design, and just why some sets work for lighting versus like you wouldn't just build a set to look cool. You also need to build it for lighting. And so I learned some of that just through assisting, and I wouldn't say I wear that hat 100%, on a shoot, but if the client asked me for my input, I would definitely be able to say, give a good piece of advice to it,
Right. The you mentioned growing up that the Matrix was such a huge influence, on you. Was it the Wachowski siblings? Was that the main influence, or what other inspirations do you draw from?
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. I'm going to go outside, see if I get a better connection.
Oh, okay.
So you said what the Matrix was a big influence, and what other items or films do I draw influence from?
Yeah.
Well, music is a big part. When I hear a song, and that's why I always want to do more music videos, because when I hear a song, my brain naturally translates sounds and words and script and songs into visuals,
Yeah.
And that's what music videos or music is so inspiring to me, because I'll hear a melody or note or a sound, and I just go into this space where I can just see the music,
Yeah.
and it might sound cheesy, but I'm such a visual guy. That's literally how I live my life.
Right, right. Yeah, music is fantastic. It's one of those like instant forms of art and communication that can really transport you to an idea, to an emotion. It can just bypass all boundaries. It becomes like universal. So I love how artists that seems to be such a go-to for inspiration or while you're working in something. I've been talking to a number of writers as they're typing away. They've got like Ramones playing, or something that'll just grasp them, anchor them, and then they're off to the races. All of a sudden they have a little wisp of inspiration to get through the next sentence or the next paragraph or the next idea. It sounds like it's the same for you.
Right, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think there's something scientific about it too, if you're listening to something that gets the right brain going, then it makes sense that you'll be able to output something more creative.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. With with this upcoming film project, have you guys, worked on or considered some of the like musical influence, how to convey some of those ideas?
Um, so the film it's more so about, I guess I can't really say too much about the film, but we're kind of just gunning the teaser part of it. And it's more about, we're in the phase where we're trying to capture the action and
Cool.
tease people through it. So we're really just shooting all the visually cool shots, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So it's less artistic and more, we want to get people to say, oh, I want to watch that.
Right. Right.
Just stimulate their senses visually. So.
Right. No, that's pretty cool. Do you still find yourself going back and doing like event photography or anything like that?
No, not really, man.
Yeah, you're past that.
I'm not too proud to go do an event photography, because I mean, I just get paid more for when I go do it than when I started, for one. And so I'm going to cooler events. And I mean, it's a free night out. Not only free, you're getting paid to have a good time.
Right.
And then like still a networking opportunity. So, I mean, I just don't market that. I don't have that on my website, so I don't get those calls. But, word of mouth, I'll still go. Yeah. I'm not going to say, I'm not too proud to do that,
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking too, like along those terms, with the music, what a great thing to see live too, and be able to capture that, because those little pockets of moments that are absolutely, they're going to be fleeting.
Right.
Once you witness them, they're gone. But photography, man, that is forever.
Right. Yeah, just capturing the moment.
Yeah. With well, with film too. I mean, you're certainly capturing that, conveying a story and everything like that. But photography, it's you're also displaying a story and the captions that go along with that. Do you ever kind of get caught up in the moment and like sit there and contemplate the narratives?
Yeah, in photography, I'm always looking to tell a story, even in a single still image. So, I mean, I ask myself, like, let's say I'm shooting a model and I've got her doing a certain pose, depending on the location or the set, I mean, it has to make sense to me. Like what's the story being told here? You know, why would she have her arms up that way, contorted, her legs up in a certain way? You know, because sometimes I see cheesy photography where they take a pretty decent pose, model, outfit, and everything, and then the location is just very standard. I'm like, okay, that pose does not go in that location.
Yeah.
Neither does that outfit, and it's such a turn off. You know, it's like, okay, why did you do that? That's just, you know, that's the kind of stuff I think about. I'm like, okay, what's the story here? What are we trying to convey?
Yeah. It seems like that would be well, and also when you're working with a client too, it's like, how do you know, they come in with their ideas, and then you have to, you know, not only guide them but also, you know, pitch them on the narrative so that you know, you get what they actually want.
Right.
That it seems like, yeah, some of that can be pretty tricky.
Right.
What when you're on set and working with like models, do you ever have moments where it's just like really difficult to work with you know, things in front of the camera?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every photographer's had a difficult model to work with, and it's just, but whenever you get a good model, it just makes your job so much easier, and you just have to help. You can't help yourself but to thank the model. I'm like, oh my God, you're so awesome. You make my job so easy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to sit here and tell you how to pose and you know, like, hey, put your arm here and do this, and you know, oh, chin up and blah blah blah. Like a good model just knows all that, and they have an arsenal of poses that they can do in their sleep. But when you get a model who, I wouldn't say a bad model, but when you get a model who is not as experienced, yeah, it makes things more difficult. But I've gotten to that age where I enjoy teaching, and so when that happens, I'm just like, you know, oh, she's new or he's new, and then I'll just start teaching them as we go.
Okay.
And
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So you'll be able to like kind of walk them through and kind of talk them through situations and kind of make it more collaborative, I guess.
Yeah. Rather than just tell them what to do, I tell them why, why you should do that. And then I'll show them the photo on the screen. Like, you see what I'm talking about? This gives your body more shape. This gives me a window in between your arms and your hips. So it's slimming, but it's also more interesting. You know?
Yeah. Do you ever find like, you know, there's like, in either the video or the film work or the photography work, that there's moments where, you know, like big mistakes happen, and then when you go and you see the video or the, you know, the still image for the first time, it's like, wow, that actually is, you know, not what I was going for, but man, is it amazing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get these little accidental, I guess, I don't even know what to call them, gifts, you know, where, you know, sometimes the model like will try to be doing a pose and she loses her balance, and then you just get this really interesting off balance angular pose. And you know, to this day, I always tell the model, I'm like, if you get off balance, you know, don't worry about it. Obviously, catch yourself, but still maintain that expression on your face, because I have gotten those shots before where the mess up, you know, is actually a really cool shot.
Yeah. Have you ever found that, you know, sometimes the happy mistake ends up, you know, being, you know, the campaign or the final product?
Yeah, I mean, final product, so to speak, to where like I've been using a shot like in my own portfolio that I didn't think would be the shot, you know, but it looks so unstaged. It looks so natural and caught in the moment, to where it's interesting. Like the camera, you can tell in a photo when something is staged and when something is just boom, very handed,
Yeah.
and it just puts on a whole other feeling.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, with with COVID and everything, and Texas, initially, well, everybody's getting hit pretty hard with this stuff.
Right.
But how has it affected you professionally?
Well, the first, when everything was shutting down in March, obviously I had a bunch of photo shoot cancellations. They all canceled, and then some of them came back it was like 8 weeks later. I feel like people, not to get too political, but I feel like people were like, okay, enough waiting for answers. We still want to push forward, and they end up doing shoots, obviously COVID compliant, and so it slowed down for a little bit. Then it picked back up. I had a pretty normal summer, honestly, financially, which was really good. And then it slowed down here a little bit for back to school, which usually it picks up for back to school. And then October, it seems to be starting to be a really normal October, because I'm getting busy again. And then obviously with this film, it's making my schedule a little bit tighter. But yeah, I definitely probably took a hit. I'm not doing as much corporate stuff, but I'm doing more stuff with individuals. And it's interesting because I feel like people are bored, which isn't always bad, right? I'd say boredom is the withdrawal of entertainment, but it's also the beginning of inspiration and creativity. You have to get, sometimes you have to get bored, or at least slow down. If you're constantly taking in content, Netflix, internet, Facebook, how can you create or think about something new content that you want to push out? So, you know what I mean? You have to stop with the intake so you can output creativity. You got to stop taking in other people's creative, and you could get inspired from Netflix, but most of the time people are just watching TV to just, wind down at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it.
Oh yeah, me too.
No judgment here. I'm just saying, if I wanted to get creative and do a photo shoot personally for myself, I'm not watching TV that day. I'm doing what I need to do to be inspired and going where I need to go to get inspired.
Nice.
So, and music is probably happening, while I'm doing that, for sure.
That's part of your meditation.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I've got to have some music in the background, and then if I'm doing anything writing wise, I probably have music in the background. And if I do, it's non-lyrical. It's just like trip hop or psychedelic, ambient, just very flowy stuff that would interrupt mental words and word creation.
Nice. So yeah, it sounds like you certainly have a meditative, process. And yeah, I agree. You gotta, in order to really, start seeking out new motivations and inspirations, boredom does happen to become kind of that, one of those, plateaus where it's necessary, it's not the most fun. It does beat depression, but at the same time too, sometimes depression is also a little bit of a motivator too. It's like, how do you work yourself out of this? Well, let's go and do something. Let's go be productive. Or you can self-medicate, and that's never fun.
Right. I mean, that's always
for a short amount of time.
Right. Yeah, this whole COVID thing definitely challenged a lot of people, and you hear about depression being high, and I could definitely see why, but I also see a lot of people making moves and trying things differently, and that's honestly that's one part I left out about my career. Is in 2007 is when I graduated college with a film degree, and we all know what happened in 2008. Biggest crash in our economy, and I think I had 2 interviews in 1 year. So I was forced to think creatively. I as far as like, okay, I can't find a job, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to have to create my own job kind of a deal. And
Yeah.
luckily, I had just retired from football and I had some incoming checks. So I had about a 6 week window of, okay, I'm going to get paid for 6 weeks. I can either try to find a job in 6 weeks or think creatively and just hustle. And I remember cashing that last check and being like, all right, man, I was sitting on the couch just like, okay,
Yeah.
uh, this is it, man. This is my last guaranteed check that I know I'm getting. Um, Here we go. And that was literally 8 years ago. And I've never once paid rent late. And I'm
No.
just like super thankful for that. You know, I can't believe I started a business in 2008.
Yeah. Wow. That's fantastic. Looks like you have a fan. Katie No says she's watching you on the big TV and loves it.
Awesome. Hey, Katie.
Yeah, we've got some posts coming in off of Facebook. It looks like so.
Right on.
Yeah. So yeah. So it sounds like, man, sounds like you've had a really storied and varied background and career too. The football stuff, and then kind of carving your own niche too. It's got to feel really good to be your own entrepreneur.
It does. And I tell my friends that all the time, and it's easier said than done, obviously, but you have to start somewhere, right? And I'm like, working for yourself is the best gift you can give yourself. And it's the best struggle you can give yourself also, because literally every year I was applying something new. And it had nothing to do with photography or video. It's like, okay, taxes. Uh, no one taught me about taxes in art school, right?
Right,
And
right.
no one taught me about accounting in art school. And because I mean, I kind of wish I would have just gone to business school and did art in my spare time, because like a business degree would have been awesome right now, but I didn't know that, you know.
Right, right.
But
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm a graduate of art school out here in Colorado. I've got a sculpting background, and that is one of the key things is like, yeah, having that business background to draw on. That's something that the art school specifically, out here at least, I can't speak for anywhere else, but there's no business courses that accompany it. You'd have to go outside of that that facility and go to like a community college and doing get accounting classes and then
right,
classes and even in law for copyright and stuff.
right.
But
And
yeah.
I would say like there's a lot of talented artists out there. I mean, a ton of them who are doing something other than art, music, film, or whatever. It's because the ones that make it learn the business side of things, and the ones that make it are the ones who are seeking the knowledge outside of art. You know,
Right.
if they're trying to make it into a business, like you have to be a business person to work for yourself.
Yeah.
I remember, I think I was in my second or third year. I can't even remember who asked me this question. They said, "So how much did you make last year?" And I said, "I don't know." And they're like, "You probably should know how much you made last year."
Right.
And I was like, okay. So that next year, I started my whole accounting and started monitoring my income and my overhead, and it just changed everything.
Nice.
And that's something so simple, right? You would think somebody would do that, but I just wasn't. Artists are artists. They're eclectic. They're not thinking about digits and numbers. It's like the last thing I think about is math and numbers. I just want to have a good time and create cool images.
Right. No, I totally understand. That's that's something that we never, as creative people, we never really think about, except for the math to build or create, whatever you're working on, even in that, it's remarkable to think that all the math that we have to use today, like I'm constantly having to use a little bit of geometry to figure out different angles and stuff.
All right.
And yeah, I'm sure you've got to sit there and calculate your light sources and figure out like exposures and things of that nature.
Right. And I do it very new school with exposure. I'm kind of spoiled with this digital generation. I take a photo and it pops up on the screen, so I don't have to do too much of the old school photography with light metering.
Right.
But I have also gotten pretty good at understanding how much light I'm actually seeing. I could tell you my settings just sitting here and seeing how bright it is. So
right.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we're getting a lot more comments coming in. Yvonne says hello. She's here. And
hey.
And then
hey,
Yvonne. Katie says congratulations to all your success.
Thank you.
I guess Katie is friends with Yvonne. Wow, you got a bunch of friends here. Christopher, he says he's proud of you, sir.
Hey, Christopher.
Yeah, he is my boss at Drew Pearson Live Do Work.
Do work, man. Yeah.
I suppose
there's a talented electrician and photographer.
Oh, sweet. Nice. That's cool. And Alexa says hi. Yeah.
Hey, babe. That's my girlfriend.
Oh, fantastic. That's awesome. Cool. Let's see. Yeah. So you've got quite the following. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you find that you get a lot of support from not only the creative community and the people that you work with, but your friends and family too? Do they appreciate what you do?
Oh, totally. As I got a helicopter flying overhead.
Uh-oh.
My mom and my brother have been my biggest supporters, since day one. Nice. So I can't thank them enough. Always positive words, always there to support me and, in the hard times. And, my mom, sometimes, I got to tell her to, stop being cheesy, mom, but she's always telling me she's proud of me. And then, my friends are awesome, and, you get to my age, I'm 36, and you seem to have less friends, but they're more genuine, right? It's less of it's quality over quantity. So I definitely have a good support group. My girlfriend, she's amazing, and she's very supportive. Nice. We actually met on a photo shoot, and cool. The rest is history kind of a thing. So
that's great. That's awesome. As you get older, the quality of friends, that does improve. I'm 44, so it just keeps going that way.
Right.
But yeah, I feel there's no shortage of wanting to keep doing something creative and building something and just whatever whatever opportunities kind of come your way.
Right.
So yeah, what now? You mentioned earlier that you can pretty much count some of your film work on one or two hands. What was your first film project?
So my first film was actually with the same guy that I'm doing this next teaser with. His name's Matthew JC. And it was a documentary film about veterans and PTSD.
Oh,
and
okay.
We followed 5 veterans over the period. I think it was like 1 year.
Wow.
And they were going to be using this product that's called InLight Wellness, and it used light. It was called light therapy.
Okay.
So it was very eye-opening to see what veterans go through. And Matt is he has his own organization called Operation Rock the Troops, and it's a 501c3 nonprofit. And all he does is try to give the veterans a mission around music and community. And so part of that was this film, and it was really intense. Two of the guys during the before we could even, I think, finish the film, or shortly after, committed suicide. So it's a really big issue. Their health after combat, being combat wounded. So, but yeah, I'm working with that same guy, and that was the first film that I had worked on, and it was a lot of work, to be honest. And I was like, man, I kind of miss my commercial pay and my commercial work. It is so much easier, and in the AC, you know, always guaranteed AC in the studio, you know, guaranteed start and stop times. The film world is not the same, man. It's like long days, 12-hour days. So I quickly adjusted my dreams to what was more lucrative, and I was still being creative. I was still behind the camera, so it was okay to me. Yeah. And now that I feel like I'm a little bit more financially stable, I can be more creative. And that's one reason why I wanted to hire Yvonne, is like, hey, I've got some money. I want to start promoting and driving my career in the direction that I want to go, versus just randomly taking gigs as they come. Right. And applying that to drive my career.
Right. No, that sounds very smart. Now, but yeah, now you're in a place that you can take a little bit more risks.
Right. And then COVID happened, so now I'm like pulling things back and taking things slow again. Yeah. But I don't know, it's different because everyone's going through it, so it's like you don't have that FOMO, fear of missing out, because you know everyone's missing out at the same time. Right. Yeah, we're all kind of in this together. So that, you know, creatively it levels kind of the playing field. It gives you a little bit more opportunities if you're creative with it. Right. Oh, for sure. I got about 2 years of housework done in about 2 months. So nice. That's pretty cool. That's cool. Yeah. So did you get that jacuzzi that you always wanted? Nah. I just bought a house, so it was more so like decorating, and one of my friends said, "You're nesting." And I was like, oh, I've never heard that term, but yeah, I guess I nested, which means just, you know, putting my own personal touches on the new house, and spending too much money at Home Depot, which I think a lot of people did, you know. Right, very much so. Yeah, I unfortunately loitered way too often at Home Depot during this too. Right. Yeah. So, you know, with the documentary that you worked on, where can people find that to watch? That's a great question. It's been so long, but the movie is called Light Up to Live. Light Up to Live. And I'm hoping if you Google it, you can find it somewhere. That I'll have to get back to you on. Light Up to Live. Yeah, it's a great film. Watch it. Yeah, it sounds, you know, really important. You know, PTSD is still something that's you know, really underserved. Totally. Yeah, so many people, you know, living with that, and obviously, I mean, wow, you know, committing suicide and doing all that. But I mean, you were there and witnessed that. What kind of? I mean, that's got to be a tough experience, just kind of being witness to what other people are having to cope with. Yeah. And, you know, one of the guys, you know, he's one of the guys that committed suicide. Mm-hmm. He was always joking and laughing and having a good time. But I feel like I'm a really good read of people. And you could tell he was still hurting on the inside. He was a double amputee of his legs. He got blown up in a Humvee. His story was he ended up using his leg to put out a fire to help save one of his dismembered leg, to put out a fire to help save one of his buddies. Oh my. And he was just struggling with PTSD for a while. there's alcohol and all that self-medication that doesn't make things better. But it's just something told me that he might be joking around and laughing a lot, but deep down inside, I feel like he's still struggling.
Right.
And so it's tough because they're tough guys and they're soldiers, and they don't need help and that kind of a thing. So
yeah,
they almost become their worst enemy, just trying to fight these battles alone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is yeah, absolutely tough and remarkable.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody just go out there and Google the film and see if you
Light
can.
Up to Live.
Yeah. Oh man, Light Up to Live. Okay. Wow. That's a tough one. But yeah. It's so Aaron, where can people go and find more of your work and see more of what you've done?
So most of my work I post on my website first, which is faroozimaging.com. And one new thing that I'm doing passively is creating these videos online for just to learn photography. And so I have this online workshop, and it's a passive workshop. So you're not really doing it live. You just you download the video, and if you want to learn photography, I take you through the beginning phases of photography all the way through to knowing as much knowledge that I have technically of being a photographer. I can't really teach being creative or being, an artist, or having, people say you have a great eye. You can't teach that. That's something you have to get on your own. But I have all that stuff on my website, faroozimaging.com. And then I'm not really too active on Instagram. During the break, I feel like I've scrolled too much. So I still have a profile on Instagram, and it's Fairooz_imaging, but I'm not posting Instagram anymore. I don't really want to feed into that monster,
Right.
If people want to see my stuff, they'll find my website. So
right. No, that's fantastic. Aaron, it's been amazing having you on and talking about your projects and your passion and your work ethic. Yeah, it seems like you just don't slow down. So that's fantastic. I think that's a big source of inspiration for everybody else, out there, kind of living through COVID and everything.
Right, and I don't want to over glorify being busy, but I do take time to go camping and get out in nature, because I was telling my girlfriend this last week. I've got to work all weekend, and you have deadlines and clients pushing you, but I know myself, and you just have to know yourself. You can push yourself, but if you don't take those breaks and have time for yourself and even get in nature, your work's going to suffer. So taking a break is actually still work, if you know what I mean. It still benefits your product and the services you offer, because if you're not happy or in a good place, you're not going to be creating good work,
Right. No, totally agree. You got to know those limitations and then recharge that battery. Otherwise, people that overdo it, they're not going to be worth a damn.
No, and they're not going to enjoy the life, man. It's all about having a good time.
That's right. God damn it, have a good time.
Have a good time.
Oh, yeah, Aaron, thanks so much for coming on to the show. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, and we'll look up your website and your film. Looks like Katie said she just Googled it, and she said it's the first thing that pops up.
Great, awesome. Thanks, Katie.
All right. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. I'm Daniel Crosier with Aaron Fairooz, the fantastic and talented photographer and videographer. Thanks so much, sir. Thanks for being so generous with your time.
All right. Thank you, Daniel.
All right. Have a good one. Take it easy, everybody.